jumped out to you from practice yesterday?
It was long. It was good, though. Man, why shouldn't I have been prepared for this? I mean, it's funny how, like, the same guys are the ones that keep doing it. You know, like the receivers, you know, they're the ones, the Brooks and the Turpins are making plays. I thought I was actually next to Brian. We were looking at Ronald Jones. I thought Rico Dowdle. I thought the running backs, the backup running backs, did a nice job. And it's hard to do a nice job when you know you're not getting tackled. But some plays you can always tell that opened up. The line did a good job. Running back, you know, cut through it really well. I thought Ronald Jones looked like a veteran back that they brought in to try to help with Pollard. And obviously he's got the suspension coming up, but he looked pretty good to me. What
did you take away from Dak yesterday in your sit-down?
Yeah, he's always going to be very polished with his answers. I asked him if he was a professor at Starkville at Mississippi State, and he was teaching a class about what it takes to be a quarterback with the Dallas Cowboys. He gave a really good answer about the communications and the commitments and all that stuff. With Dak, you're always going to get a very thoughtful answer. Yeah. He's going to deflect, well, not deflect, but criticism. He's going to say, hey, it's something I have to deal with. I think over the years he's learned that. I think this year, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, because you live with the guy. Correct me on this, because I think this is the first time I've seen him say, listen, some other people are going to take responsibilities for this interception. I'm not going to stand up here every friggin' day and have Nick ask me a question. Well, what did you see on that route? And he knows damn good and well he threw the ball where he needed to, but somebody didn't break inside and all that. This is the first time I get this sense of, okay, it's me, yes, but here we're going to communicate. We got to talk. We got to be on the same page. We've got to, there's a lot of things going on there right now. Hey, can I ask a real quick question here on that? When you're talking about watching practice and stuff, it seems like that every video clip now I'm seeing is Tyron Smith getting beat.
This is my question for you guys.
Yeah, because, and I wonder, and I don't think Tyron Smith is practicing poorly, but every clip you see, it's Micah, it's, is Tyron Smith what he is 4 or 5 years ago? No. I think the injuries have robbed him some flexibility, a little bit of quickness maybe. But it seems like that every single clip I see when I go home at night is something of him doing something wrong and against Micah. But I'm watching him against the others, and it seems to be okay. Am I missing something there?
I think it's the nature of the practice that we get to watch and what they're doing. Micah gets around the edge, and it looks like, sack.
Yeah.
Well, Micah got, 65, 70 pressures last year. He got 13 sacks. So just because you're getting around that edge doesn't necessarily mean that you do that. The quarterback steps up, that's pressure, but you didn't make the play. And a lot of times you've seen, too, guys get around the edge, and then the tackle just shoves them back into the back judge. Yeah. So it looks, from out here, we're like, oh, well, that's a sack. But I think it's not as bad as it looks like. It's not as good as it looks like for Micah sometimes, too.
Who would both of you start at left tackle game one?
If he's healthy, I mean, if he's ready to go, Tyron.
I was arguing. I was arguing in June about Tyler Smith, but they need Tyler Smith now at guard. My biggest fear is something happens with Tyron, and now they've got 2 spots they have to worry about with those guards.
See, this is the position that I'm coming down on now about Tyron, is that Tyron Smith, I don't believe at this point in his career, I don't believe he's one of your 2 best tackles on the team. I do believe he's part of your best 5, though, because of the weakness on the interior if you are playing Tyler Smith at tackle and you're playing Terrence Steele outside. So there's an argument to be made, I think, that Tyron is at tackle is part of the best 5 you can put out there, but just in a vacuum, is he one of your 2 best tackles? I think there's an argument that says he's not.
Well, I mean, we always could have said that about Zach Martin. He just never played it. He probably was always a better tackle than whoever they were throwing out there next to him.
How do you judge, though, a guy going up against, I don't want to say Hall of Fame talent in Micah Parsons? Did you have a player in your past organizations where you're like, what do we want from the guy? He's going up against Reggie White.
Well, I mean, Tyron Smith early in his career was going up against DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah.
And he looked far worse doing that than he is right now. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. There was times where, Nick and I would be watching practice, we were on a platform yesterday, and it's like, oh no, man, here we go. This young guy's about, and then Tyron is like a
He was
young,
only 19 too.
well, and like he is like a big, strong athlete, and still
Because, dude,
getting eaten up.
after the reps, Nick, Micah's kind of like this to Tyron, like, it's okay, man. Like, it's like guy that obeyed across
Sorry,
the street.
Dad.
He's like, it's okay, sorry, Dad. Exactly.
2012.
Yeah.
That was Tyron's second year. DeMarcus Ware was wearing him out.
He was
it
every
was not,
practice.
and it was not. It was like, okay, this isn't great, because he started out his first year, 2011, right tackle, moved to left, and this wasn't going well. By the end of the year, Tyron was in the Pro Bowl, and DeMarcus was the one that he was battling all the injuries, and looks like this was kind of the end of the line for him, at least from here. So it was just weird how at camp you see one thing in camp, but by the end of the year it changes.
So, but doesn't that speak further to the fact that it very much could be a decline? Because we're talking in that instance, we're talking about DeMarcus Ware, a declining player who had veteran savvy though, who knew how to play the position, and you had young athletic Tyron Smith who was struggling with that. It's not reversed in this one where savvy Tyron Smith is handling young Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is out there beating him routinely. Now, Micah Parsons is beating everybody right now. I mean, he is wrecking shop. This is a dominant training camp that he's had. But it does just it concerns you, I think, a little bit that says, especially that one where he put Tyron on the ground. There's a concern for me about speed rushers right now with Tyron at this point in his career.
Well, the thing with Tyron is he's always struggled with the inside move. And now what's happened is Micah Parsons has figured out how to get air miles and travel around the country and talk to Andrew Whitworth and go to Austin and work out and, figure out how to break. I mean, one of the things is he's figured out how to break offensive linemen down.
Yeah.
His whole thing is, I've got to get my hands on you before you get your hands on me. And that's what he's been able to do. It's rare that you see people break Tyron Smith down that way with his hands. But the biggest problem that Tyron Smith had throughout his career is the inside move. For some reason, he has not been able to take his left foot and push really hard and get back inside to cut people off. And Micah's figured that out. He's like, okay, I could break his hands down. Now I can go inside on him.
Is Micah different in that you can tell he's totally added to his game?
Yes. He's smarter. He's a much smarter rusher. We used to see, and Nick, please comment when you need. I don't give many people chances to talk, but when you see,
especially Chief Follow,
Chief. When
he doesn't know football.
By the way, thanks, Choppy, for us doing shows in Camarillo next year. But the thing about with Micah, he's now equipped with not only blessed with more body armor, strength, but knowledge of how to break guys down. Yeah. And instead of just going upfield power, he's kind of figured out how to hand fight guys and then get rid of them. It's pretty impressive to watch.
Nick, what has surprised you, pleasantly surprised you about the first week and a half?
I think, oh man,
Bobby and I were arguing about Turpin.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Turpin has really flashed, and I'm like, he needs to get the ball in his hands with some opportunities. Am I overreacting to that? Because last year that was not a thought.
Not to me, and that was one thing that I thought, that they needed to do more during the season. And they really didn't. And you could see when he was out there, you could just see as a punt returner, he's dangerous when he doesn't even get the ball. They're trying to kick away from him. People know in space he could do some things. And I think I like what they're kind of doing with him here. We'll see if they get cute with some of the plays and trick plays type of stuff. But I'm not worried about having him and Deuce out there. It wouldn't, and Pollard and Cooks. I mean, as I've said before, they're not playing the Mavericks. They're going to go out there and then they're going to run, side to side. And that's one thing I really like about this offense is that it is very, very wide and that they use every blade of grass.
I think Turpin was exhausted last year. Kid played 25 games.
Yeah.
Think about him playing the USFL season, then coming in here. Then all of a sudden it's like, hey, listen, we're going to throw you in the deep end of the pool. I think they didn't want to just overload the guy. I think they wanted to say, hey, we'll find ways to use a returner. You're starting to see a guy that had an off-season, fresher body. He's still a small guy, but at least they figured out ways to get him the football.
Here's the only thing for me about Turpin right now is that he has had an impressive camp. This is the only thing that I've said to Sean about it. He has had an impressive camp. He has done things that are impressive. To me, though, it's still on display at times there's a lack of a catch radius. The size has gotten him a couple times. He hasn't finished catches. That's still on display, and those are things that he's never...
Well, don't tell Gilmore that when he made that incredible catch, and Gilmore looked back at him like, you SOB, you didn't catch that ball.
I disagree with you.
He is a small guy. You're not wrong.
How many times have we seen at camp that him diving and off this pass like 1 inch off the ground? I mean, he's halfway there. Like, he can get these ones down on the ground.
Right, but I mean, there have also been a couple of those where it's a dive because of his catch radius, or it's a reach because of his catch radius, and it's bounced off his hands, or it hasn't been able to finish. There are limitations there that I understand. Like, we can't all just hamstring them as this is what they are, and they can't do anything else. But there are going to be limitations that no matter how much he improves his game, he's not going to be able to get to certain things or do certain things.
Power rank then you're the three guys that are trying to be the fourth or fifth.
Who I think can most help them win, or Sean asked me earlier about statistically.
Power rank Brooks, power rank Turpin and Tolbert.
The quality of their camp?
No, just rank them. How you've seen them just right now as we speak at camp.
Tolbert, Turpin, Brooks. In terms of quality of the camp, it'd be Brooks, Tolbert, Turpin.
I kind of feel like that Tolbert is the third of the group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I feel like
even in terms of making.
Well, no, I'm just saying right now. If you say today, how do you feel about the
way they've out here practiced? The way they've out here practiced, Brooks has been the best, and then it's Tolbert to me, and then Turpin.
I would have Tolbert third in that group.
I think Brooks is easily the best of the three in terms of how they've practiced since Pats came on.
Yeah.
Dak's camp so far has been fill in the blank.
Solid.
I would say, man, I'm trying to kind of.
Don't be scared of the Dak.
No.
You know who's sitting across from you, Brian.
No. It's all good. The thing about it is, I think that to me, there's been some times where he has been really, and I'm going to say accurate, because of what they've asked him to do. Now people say, well,
don't sound so surprised.
Well, no, but you worry about some of the throws that he's having to make with guys on the move and things like that. There's been touch. There's been accuracy. There's where the ball needs to be. I know we've seen, like, again, you watch clips and, here's this one happened or that one happened. They broke on an out, whatever. But I think for the most part, when you watch him, like the 2-point drill that they did the other day, I mean, it was like, the guys were, boom, he had to be here, had to be here. I mean, he's throwing the ball well, deep crossers, guys on the out, stuff like that. I think he's been fine. I think accuracy would be my word for him. Good accuracy.
You know what I really love about this offense is they're finally doing what every other team in the league does all the time.
Yeah.
Rub routes, picks. I mean,
what have y'all noticed? Are the Mike McCarthy changes offensively are going to be what?
Rub routes,
schematically, picks.
I think that Nick's right. To me, it's the tight receivers to the edge. It's not all spread out. Mm-hmm. It's more tight, and then it's scatter, and then it's twins with the two wide receivers, motion to bunch, scatter. And then he ran something yesterday. He went 13 personnel. He put 3 tight ends on the field, all to one side, 2 on the line, 1 at the wing, and he ran the ball back the other way. And it was gash play for the offense, But he's showing formation this way, heavy, and then turning around and running the opposite direction.
What a breakdown.
Will the layperson recognize the changes?
Yeah, you will, because receivers will have more separation in these routes, especially if there's picks.